Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. William Lee, and today we're going to tackle something that might surprise you, something many women experience silently: hair thinning, shedding, or even noticeable hair loss. And the question on everyone's mind: could the nuts you're eating actually be causing it? You might think, I eat healthy, I snack on almonds, walnuts, maybe even cashews every day. How could this be harming me? Here's what's really going on inside your body. Not all nuts are created equal, and while most are packed with nutrients that nourish your hair, there is one nut, Brazil nuts, that in excessive amounts can trigger hair loss. But it's not just the nuts themselves, it's the metabolic and hormonal context in which they interact with your body. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body as a finely tuned orchestra. Your liver, your hormones, your thyroid, and even your blood sugar are all instruments playing together. If one instrument goes off, for example, too much selenium from eating 10-15 Brazil nuts a day, suddenly the whole harmony shifts. Hair follicles are particularly sensitive to this imbalance, and one of the first signs your body gives you is shedding hair. But here's the deeper truth. Hair loss is rarely about a single food or nutrient. It's often a signal of underlying issues. Your liver might be overloaded with toxins, your insulin or cortisol levels might be off, or your thyroid isn't converting hormones effectively. The good news is, when you address the root cause, your hair can bounce back stronger than before. What the research shows is that selenium is essential for hair growth in normal amounts, but in high doses, it becomes toxic, a condition called selenosis. In documented cases, women consuming excessive Brazil nuts developed hair loss, brittle nails, and fatigue. So yes, moderation is key, but there's more to the story. In this video, we're going to go beyond the headline. You'll learn 6 science-backed insights about why hair falls out in women, which nuts are safe, and which dietary, metabolic, and hormonal strategies actually protect and strengthen hair naturally. We'll break down these mechanisms in simple, actionable terms. So by the end, you'll know exactly what to do to keep your hair full, healthy, and resilient. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help you optimize your health naturally without relying on medications or gimmicks. Let's start with one of the most overlooked causes of hair loss in women: excess selenium from Brazil nuts and why too much of a good thing can backfire. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Selenium is an essential trace mineral. Your liver uses it to produce antioxidant enzymes, your thyroid depends on it to make hormones, and your hair follicles need it for growth. But just like water can drown a plant if you overwater it, selenium becomes toxic when consumed in very high amounts. This condition is called selenosis, and one of the first visible signs is hair thinning and shedding. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your hair follicles as tiny factories, each producing strands day by day. Selenium at the right levels acts like a quality control inspector, making sure everything runs smoothly. But when selenium levels skyrocket, the inspectors start giving the wrong orders. Production falters, the factory stalls, and the strands weaken and fall out. Research shows this is not hypothetical. A documented case involved a woman eating roughly 10-15 Brazil nuts daily, which delivered more than 3 or 4 times the recommended daily intake of selenium. Within weeks, she developed diffuse hair loss, brittle nails, and fatigue. PubMed, Selenium Toxicity, 2016. But here's the important nuance: moderation is everything. Eating 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day is completely safe and even beneficial. They provide powerful antioxidants that protect hair follicles from oxidative stress, one of the main culprits behind premature thinning. The problem begins when overconsumption tips the balance. Now let's connect this to broader metabolic context. High selenium doesn't act alone. Often women experiencing hair loss also have subtle thyroid imbalances, insulin fluctuations, or liver detox overload. When your liver is busy processing hormones, toxins, and excess nutrients, hair follicles are among the first tissues to show stress. This is why hair shedding can be a window into your metabolic health. So what can you do practically? Here's a protocol that works. Limit Brazil nuts to 1 to 2 per day. Never exceed this habitually. Support your liver with antioxidant-rich foods. leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and small servings of coffee polyphenols. Monitor thyroid and insulin. Simple blood tests can reveal imbalances before hair loss becomes severe. Supplement wisely. If you're low in selenium, a professional might recommend a controlled dose rather than relying on handfuls of nuts. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help you understand the root causes of health issues and optimize your body naturally. In short, hair loss from nuts is not about avoiding all nuts. It's about understanding quantity, nutrient balance, and metabolic context. By recognizing how excess selenium can disrupt your follicle factories, you can make small, precise adjustments that protect your hair and overall health. Another major factor behind hair thinning in women is hormonal imbalance, particularly involving the thyroid, insulin, and cortisol. Most people think hair loss is just a cosmetic issue, but here's what's really going on inside your body. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to your hormones. They rely on a balanced internal environment to grow strong, full strands. When that balance shifts, even slightly, the follicles slow down, enter a resting phase, and shedding begins. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your hair follicles as small plants in a greenhouse. Hormones act like sunlight, water, and nutrients. If the thyroid is underactive, it's like dimming the lights. The plants can't photosynthesize efficiently. If insulin is spiking from high-carb meals or sugar imbalances, it's like overwatering. Roots become stressed. And if cortisol from chronic stress remains high, it's like a sudden storm flooding the greenhouse. The result? Wilted, weak hair, prone to falling out. Thyroid hormones, for example, are critical for hair growth cycles. Even mild hypothyroidism or fluctuations in thyroid hormone conversion can cause noticeable shedding. Similarly, insulin spikes can increase androgen activity, subtly altering hair follicle function. And cortisol, the stress hormone, doesn't just affect mood and energy. High cortisol suppresses growth signals in hair follicles and accelerates the shedding process. So what can you do to protect your hair and your overall metabolic health? Start with these practical steps. Balance blood sugar. Focus on low glycemic foods like leafy greens, healthy fats, and protein-rich meals. Avoid frequent high-sugar snacks that trigger insulin spikes. Support thyroid function naturally. Include selenium in safe amounts, iodine-rich foods like sea vegetables in moderation, and zinc from nuts and seeds, just not in excess. Manage stress and cortisol. Daily movement, deep breathing exercises, and adequate sleep are powerful tools. Even 10 minutes of focused breathing or light walking can reduce cortisol levels. Check lab values regularly. A simple blood test can reveal thyroid function, insulin levels, and cortisol rhythm, giving you a roadmap to correct imbalances before hair loss progresses. Here's a key insight to remember. Hair loss isn't about blaming a single food or nutrient. It's a symptom of an underlying hormonal environment. By addressing the root causes, thyroid, insulin, and cortisol, you create a foundation for hair to grow stronger, thicker, and healthier over time. And this isn't theoretical. These interventions have helped countless women regain not only their hair, but also energy, focus, and confidence. Small, precise adjustments in diet, stress management, and hormonal support often make a bigger difference than expensive creams or supplements. If this is helping you understand why your hair may be thinning, subscribe to my channel. I share daily insights on how to fix these root causes naturally without relying on medications or gimmicks. In the next section, we'll dive into another hidden contributor, nutrient deficiencies beyond selenium and how vitamins and minerals play a critical role in follicle health. Another critical factor in women's hair loss is nutrient deficiencies. Hair follicles are among the most metabolically active cells in the body. They need a constant supply of vitamins and minerals to function properly. When even one key nutrient is missing, follicles weaken, growth slows, and shedding begins. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your hair follicles as high-performance engines. Each engine requires fuel, oil, and coolant to run smoothly. Zinc, iron, vitamin D, and biotin act like these essential components. Without them, the engine sputters. Hair becomes brittle, thin, and eventually falls out. Iron deficiency is one of the most common culprits. Even if your hemoglobin levels are normal, low ferritin, the storage form of iron, can starve your follicles. This is especially true in women with heavy menstrual cycles. Without enough iron, follicles cannot generate new hair effectively. Zinc is another crucial nutrient. It regulates protein synthesis and supports hair follicle cell division. A deficiency can cause hair to shed faster than it grows, and nails can become brittle as well. Vitamin D deserves special attention too. Research shows that vitamin D receptors are present on hair follicles, and low levels are strongly linked to telogen effluvium, the type of hair loss triggered by stress, illness, or hormonal imbalances. Ensuring optimal vitamin D supports follicle cycling and reduces shedding. Biotin, though often hyped, is still important for women who have an actual deficiency. It plays a key role in keratin production, which is the structural protein of your hair. While most people get enough biotin from food, supplementation can help if your diet is limited. So what are practical steps you can take to correct these deficiencies and support healthy hair growth? Get tested first. A blood panel can reveal ferritin, zinc, vitamin D, and other nutrient levels. This ensures you're correcting real deficiencies rather than guessing. Optimize iron. Include heme iron from lean meats, fish, or poultry, and pair plant-based iron sources like spinach or lentils with vitamin C-rich foods to boost absorption. Ensure zinc intake. Moderate amounts of pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, and nuts like cashews provide zinc, but avoid overdoing it as excess zinc can interfere with copper balance. Support vitamin D. 15 to 20 minutes of daily sun exposure or supplements if needed can restore optimal levels. Consider biotin cautiously. Only supplement if blood tests or dietary intake indicate low levels, typically 2,500 to 5,000 METG per day, is safe for adults. Here's an important point. Correcting nutrient deficiencies doesn't produce instant hair regrowth. Follicles operate on a cycle, so it can take 3 to 6 months to notice visible improvements. But combined with liver support, hormone balance, and moderation of high selenium nuts, the impact is dramatic and sustainable. If this section is giving you insight into why your hair may be thinning, subscribe to my channel. I post daily evidence-based strategies to help women optimize hair, metabolism, and overall health naturally. In the next section, we'll explore the hidden impact of inflammation and oxidative stress on hair follicles and simple ways to reduce it through diet and lifestyle. Another often overlooked contributor to hair loss in women is chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Even when diet, hormones, and nutrients are in balance, inflammation acts like a silent saboteur in your body. It damages hair follicles at the cellular level, shortens their growth cycle, and makes them more prone to shedding. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every hair follicle relies on tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. When inflammation is high, these vessels can constrict, and oxidative stress, essentially cellular rust, damages the follicle structure. Over time, this leads to weaker, thinner hair that falls out faster than it grows. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your hair follicles as young trees in a garden. Oxidative stress is like acid rain. Even the healthiest soil and water can't protect them if the environment is toxic. Inflammation acts like weeds, crowding the roots, preventing growth. Together, they stunt growth and cause leaves, and in this case, hair strands, to drop prematurely. What triggers this inflammation? Common culprits include processed foods, excess sugar, chronic stress, and environmental toxins. Even healthy-appearing nut snacks can play a role if your liver is already overburdened. Remember, hair follicles are like the canaries in your metabolic coal mine. They show early signs of stress before other organs do. So, what practical steps can you take to calm inflammation and protect your follicles? Adopt anti-inflammatory foods, colorful vegetables, fatty fish rich in omega-3s, nuts in moderation, berries and turmeric help reduce systemic inflammation. Reduce oxidative stress. Minimize refined carbs and sugar, avoid excessive alcohol, and ensure you're getting adequate antioxidants from food. Support liver detox pathways. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and cabbage help the liver metabolize toxins efficiently. Green tea polyphenols are also protective. Manage stress. Daily practices like meditation, gentle exercise, or breathing exercises lower cortisol, which in turn reduces inflammatory signaling. Sleep. Deep, restorative sleep allows your body to repair oxidative damage and rejuvenate follicles overnight. Here's an important insight. Reducing inflammation is not just about hair. It supports insulin sensitivity, hormone balance, and energy, all of which contribute to long-term hair health. By thinking about your hair in the context of whole body wellness, you're tackling the root cause, not just the symptom. If this is helping you understand how inflammation and stress affect hair, consider subscribing. I post daily strategies to help women optimize their health naturally, from metabolism to hair growth. In the next section, we'll focus on timing and lifestyle hacks, how eating patterns, fasting, and nutrient timing can enhance hair growth and reduce shedding. These are subtle changes that have a big impact when applied consistently. Another powerful, yet often underestimated factor in hair health is how and when you eat. Most people focus solely on what's on their plate, but the timing of meals and nutrient intake can dramatically influence hormones, insulin, and ultimately hair growth. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Hair follicles are highly sensitive to your metabolic environment. When insulin spikes repeatedly from irregular meals or high sugar snacks, it increases androgen activity, disrupts thyroid hormone conversion, and triggers inflammation, all of which weaken follicles and accelerate shedding. Conversely, consistent meal timing and periods of fasting can help stabilize insulin, balance cortisol, and support follicle regeneration. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your hair follicles as employees in a company. When your metabolic signals are chaotic, erratic meals, constant snacking, it's like giving employees unpredictable shifts and deadlines. Stress rises, productivity drops, and output suffers. But when you implement a structured schedule, regular meals with nutrient-dense foods, and strategic fasting windows, it's like providing clear instructions, proper breaks, and steady resources. The workforce becomes efficient, and your follicles produce stronger, thicker hair. One practical approach is intermittent fasting. Even a 12-16-hour overnight fast can help regulate insulin, support autophagy, and allow your body to focus on repair processes, including follicle maintenance. Pairing this with a balanced first meal, rich in protein, healthy fats, and micronutrients, ensures your follicles get exactly what they need to thrive. Other lifestyle hacks include avoid late-night snacking. Nighttime eating disrupts cortisol rhythms and can trigger insulin spikes that interfere with hair follicle cycles. Front-load protein and micronutrients. The first meal of your day should contain high-quality protein, leafy greens, and healthy fats. This fuels follicles with the building blocks they need. Hydration. Proper water intake maintains cellular function and circulation to hair follicles. Dehydration reduces nutrient delivery and slows growth. Exercise strategically. Moderate activity improves blood flow and oxygen delivery to follicles, while excessive high-intensity training without recovery can elevate cortisol and worsen shedding. Consistent sleep schedule. Sleep resets hormonal rhythms, stabilizes insulin, and allows follicles to enter their growth phase naturally. Here's a key point. Small adjustments in timing and lifestyle often have bigger effects than expensive hair treatments. By aligning your meals, fasting windows, and daily routines with your body's natural rhythms, you create a metabolic environment where follicles can thrive and regenerate. If this is helping you understand how lifestyle directly affects hair growth, subscribe to my channel. I post daily insights on metabolism, nutrition, and natural strategies to strengthen hair and overall health. In the next section, we'll explore environmental and external factors, from toxins in hair products to chemical exposure, and how minimizing these can preserve follicle health and prevent hair loss over time. Finally, let's talk about something that many women overlook but has a big impact on hair health: environmental factors and external toxins. Even if your diet, hormones, and lifestyle are perfect, exposure to certain chemicals and pollutants can weaken follicles, trigger oxidative stress, and accelerate shedding. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Hair follicles are not isolated. They're part of a dynamic system that interacts with your blood, lymph, and skin. When toxins accumulate from hair dyes, shampoos with sulfates, heavy metals, or air pollution, they create oxidative stress at the follicle level. This stress damages the delicate cells responsible for generating new hair, slowing growth, and increasing hair loss. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your hair follicles as delicate plants in a garden. Even with nutrient-rich soil, sunlight, and water, exposure to smog, pesticides, or harsh chemicals can stunt growth and damage roots. The healthier the environment, the stronger the plants. The more toxic the environment, the more fragile your hair becomes. Some common environmental contributors to hair loss include chemical hair products, frequent use of dyes, bleaches, or shampoos with sulfates and parabens can irritate the scalp and disrupt follicle function. Heavy metals, mercury, lead, and arsenic can accumulate in the body through contaminated water, seafood, or air pollution, subtly affecting follicles over time. Air pollution, fine particulate matter, increases systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, indirectly weakening hair follicles. Heat and styling. Excessive blow drying, flat irons, or tight hairstyles put mechanical stress on follicles and hair shafts, causing breakage and thinning. So, what are the actionable steps you can take to minimize environmental damage and protect your hair? Switch to gentle, sulfate-free hair products. Look for formulations without harsh chemicals and with added antioxidants to nourish follicles. Limit frequent chemical treatments. Give your scalp and follicles time to recover between dyes, bleaches, or perms. Detox your environment when possible. Use water filters. Avoid unnecessary heavy metal exposure and ensure proper ventilation indoors. Protect hair from heat. Lower the temperature when blow drying or straightening and use heat protectant sprays. Reduce tension on hair. Avoid overly tight ponytails or braids that pull on follicles, especially if your hair is already thinning. Here's the important insight. Your hair reflects not only what you eat, but also what you are exposed to. By reducing external toxins and protecting your follicles, you reinforce all the internal strategies we've discussed: nutrient balance, hormone optimization, inflammation control, and lifestyle alignment. If this is helping you understand the bigger picture of hair loss, subscribe to my channel. I post daily evidence-based strategies to help women protect their hair, metabolism, and overall health naturally. In the next and final part of the video, we'll wrap everything together in a practical conclusion, giving you a clear roadmap to stop hair loss, strengthen your follicles, and maintain vibrant, healthy hair. Now that we've explored the multiple factors behind hair loss in women, let's bring it all together. Hair thinning is rarely caused by a single food or nutrient. Instead, it's a signal from your body that something in your internal or external environment needs attention. Whether it's excess selenium from Brazil nuts, nutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, inflammation, poor meal timing, or environmental toxins, each piece plays a role in follicle health. Think of your hair follicles as a sophisticated orchestra. Each system, liver, hormones, nutrition, and lifestyle, is an instrument. If one instrument is out of tune, the whole performance suffers. The good news is, by addressing these root causes, you can restore harmony and see real, lasting improvements in your hair, energy, and overall health. Here are the practical takeaways we've covered. Moderate high selenium nuts like Brazil nuts to prevent toxicity, while still enjoying the benefits of other nutrient-rich nuts. Balance hormones, particularly thyroid, insulin, and cortisol, to create an optimal internal environment for follicle growth. Correct nutrient deficiencies, iron, zinc, vitamin D, and biotin, are foundational for strong, resilient hair. Reduce inflammation and oxidative stress through anti-inflammatory foods, antioxidants, stress management, and restorative sleep. Align meal timing and lifestyle, regular meals, intermittent fasting, proper hydration, and moderate exercise support both metabolic and follicle health. Protect follicles from environmental damage, avoid harsh chemicals, limit heat styling, and reduce toxin exposure wherever possible. Try just one of these changes today. Maybe reduce Brazil nut intake, schedule a proper protein-rich breakfast, or swap your shampoo for a gentler formula, and pay attention to how your body responds over the next few weeks. Small, consistent steps create profound, long-term results. Remember, hair loss is a window into your overall health. Strengthening your follicles is not just about appearance, it's about supporting metabolic balance, hormone regulation, energy, and longevity. When you fix the root causes, the results extend far beyond hair. Your body, mind, and vitality all benefit. If this video added value, like the video and subscribe to my channel. I post daily science-backed strategies to help women optimize their health naturally without relying on medications or gimmicks. By understanding these mechanisms and taking actionable steps, you're empowering yourself to restore your hair and improve your overall well-being. Your hair is a reflection of your internal health, and every small, intentional choice you make can create visible, lasting change. Start today, stay consistent, and watch as your follicles regain strength, shine, and resilience.